guys, welcome to the Friday Waffle. I apologise in advance about the extremely dull camera angle this week. I hope you're all good. It's Friday, thank goodness. I don't know what the time is, it's 20 past 10, 20 past 8 even. So yeah, I've had another busy week, but today's actually a bit of a landmark for me in my life actually. Today, 18 years ago, I started a new job, and today is the very, very last day of that. If you've been watching my Friday Waffles for a wee while, you'll probably know that I've not been happy in my job for quite a long time. And I hit a bit of a low spot probably about 6 months ago, and I decided, right, you know what, I need to change something. I need to get a new job. Now I've always avoided going for jobs, and the simple reason being, not because I'm afraid of change, it's because I hated interviews. I used to avoid interviews. I hated them. The mere thought of an interview or mention of an interview just used to fill me with complete and utter dread. But as I said, 6 months ago, I was at a particularly low point in my job, and I thought, you know what, something has to change. I've got to do something about it. So I decided to look for a job, and I had a number of interviews, and I've got to say now, interviews don't faze me in the slightest. They really, really don't. I've realised that they're nothing to worry about at all. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, of course it's nerve-wracking, but you've really got nothing to worry about. And lucky enough, an interview I had about, when would it be, about 6 weeks ago, I got offered the job. So I start a new job on Monday. Now, I would have loved to have had a couple of weeks off my work and, before I started a new job. But the way things have worked out, I haven't. So I finished up today and I start my new job on Monday. So yeah, it's been quite an 18 months in my life. I mean, if somebody had told me a year and a half ago that I would no longer be living with my wife, I would no longer be living in the same house, I would no longer be in the same job, and I would have a girlfriend, I would have thought them absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's basically what's happened. I mean, I don't think I could have really had much more of a topsy-turvy 18 months. Anything that could have changed has changed. And I've got to say, for the better. I mean, I'm a lot happier. The great thing is, and I don't mind admitting this on camera, me and my ex, we get on really, really well. Obviously we've both got my daughter, and I think it's really important that, we retain that sort of friendliness, because it just makes things easier all round. I mean, you hear some real horror stories with people splitting up and real nastiness, and believe you me, I've been on the receiving end of a nasty split up, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. It really is. So yeah, like I said, I'm starting a new job on Monday. I'm equally as nervous and excited. My new boss phoned me today actually. In fact, he did say he was going to phone me tonight for a wee catch up. So if this video gets edited, it's because he's phoned me. So looking forward to starting a new job. It's as different as what I'm doing at the moment as you could probably possibly get. I'm going from a company who employs 20,000 people. What am I talking about? I think they employ 50,000 people, maybe more than that. And I'm going to a company where they employ 70 people. And indeed, the guy that interviewed me, the guy that was my boss, is the owner of the company. So it's going to be a huge, huge change for me. I think it's going to take me a few months to kind of settle into the job. I mean, any job is going to take a wee while. You've just got to kind of get used to it, and I think it's important that you don't, after a week, think, oh, I hate it. You've got to give a job a chance, and that's what obviously I'm intending to do. But one thing, and I don't want to sound all Mr. Preacher like Jerry Springer and dictate to people or whatever, but there's a lot of people out there who are maybe in a rut. They're maybe in an unhappy place, whether it's maybe a relationship, it could be the job, it could be anything. You know, we all have our ups and downs, we all have pressures. But one thing that I've learned over the years, and no more than 18 months ago, you can always change things. You absolutely can always change things. People seem to get into a situation where they just think, no, they can't possibly. I mean, there's a lot of my colleagues, ex-colleagues, I suppose I should call them, are not happy in the job. And they've told me, they think, oh, it's fantastic that you've made the choice to get away, you know, we should do the same. And I've told them, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? What's the worst that can happen? I mean, the worst that can happen with this new job of mine is I start it, and after a few months I think, oh no, this is not for me. The worst that can happen is I don't like it and I'll get another job. That's an absolute given. So I've got no fear at all of, you know, if I didn't like it. I hope that's not the case. I really, really do think I've got a nice feeling. The guy, my boss, sounds like a really, really ace guy. Obviously it's way too early to tell because I'm not actually working for him yet, but I've got a really good feeling about the job. I think it is going to go. It is going to be something that I won't regret doing at all. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of my friends over the years who've decided to change jobs, and I don't think any one of them have ever regretted it. They've always said the opposite. They've always said it's the best thing that they've ever done. Now, excuse me, because I am starting a new job and it's my last day in my old job, I'm going to have a beer. So, yeah, cheers. That is the first beer I have had for, I don't know, 2 months? Something like that. Very, very rarely drink. Especially I don't drink in camera. I know, was it Ian Hunter wanted a drunk waffle? I don't think that's a good idea somehow. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, guys, I mean, never, ever, ever be afraid of making a change in your life because, you know, as we all know, life is too short. You get one opportunity in this world and you've got to make it the best you can. You've got to be happy. Now, I know there's always going to be things that you can't change. And, you know, that's always going to happen. But in most cases, you can change things. And if you can't change something, you've always got to remember that the lows are only temporary. Now, that was something that when I was going through a real shitty stage in my life about 6 months ago, basically my boss was just being a complete horrible person. One of the guys, I can't remember who it was, one of the guys that watched my YouTube channel said to me, the lows are temporary. So are the highs. The highs are temporary. And you know, there's nothing more certain in life other than we're going to die and you're going to pay income tax. And that is the fact that things go up and down. So when you're going through a particularly low patch in your life, you can absolutely guarantee it is not going to last forever. And you need to remember that. Because 6 months ago, when I was going through the way I was feeling, you know, the person said that to me, and I just thought, and I kind of held on to that, and it's so true. You know, you always find the strength to pull through and get to the other side, and I've done that. And you know, it's amazing how much you learn about yourself when you are going through a low period. It's, you know, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up again. And the more times you get knocked down and the more times you get back up again, the less it bothers you. And that's basically my philosophy in life now, you know what I mean? You roll with it, you know what I mean? And like I says, when you get a bad thing happening, it is only temporary. It absolutely is. So always, always, always remember that. Now listen, I don't have a hell of a lot to talk about this week. I've just been, I mean, apologies about the lack of videos. I think I've put out one, possibly two, I can't even remember. I think I've only put out one video. I will be getting back into things, and I know I keep saying that. I did actually mention a video, what's it called? That is the year that was the, what was it? That is the year that was? Yeah. which I've basically stolen from a TV programme. And what I basically do is I pick a year and I look at the news, I look at the music, I look at the top films of that year, and I also look at the sort of most popular games. I'll play through them for a few minutes. I have done, I'm trying to think, was it, I don't know, 1978 or something, up to 1996, I think, possibly, for arcade games. After 1996, there is absolutely nothing in the arcades that interests me remotely. I don't even know if they're still making arcade games at that point. But what I've done is, so basically I ran out of years to do the arcade ones. But I started it, maybe about a year ago, doing that is a year, that was a year, that is a year that was? Yeah, I can't even remember the name of one bloody videos. I started doing the Spectrum, I think I did 82, 83 and 84, so I'm halfway through recording, that was the year that was Spectrum for 1985, so I'm going to get that out next week, and I think I'm tying up with my good old mucker, Mr. Lacosa again. We've got another one of our top 10 specials coming up. So without much further ado, guys, I'm just going to batter into a few questions. I did have a wee look earlier on, so let me have a wee look. Mr. Yoldi Gamer Steve, another final waffle, thank you. I'm so happy you're going to add that was the year that was. I love those videos and I think the computer ones will be just as great. Best of luck with the new job. Hope it all goes smoothly and the people are nice. Thanks very much, Steve. Mr. Ian Hunter, great stuff, Alan. A question for the waffle. I've just finished watching Let's Talk Retrovid and James is demonstrating a great looking N64 controller. My question is this. Would this piece of kit change your mind about owning the console again? I read your question, Ian, and I went away and watched the video by James. I'm going to say the controller does look nice. I mean, there's two things that I'm not fond of at the N64. There's probably three things why I'm not a big fan of it. First one, the controller. I think the original controller is complete pants. It feels cheap, it feels flimsy, the little analog stick. It just feels... It feels like one of these knockoff consoles. It's not something you expect from Nintendo. You look at the GameCube controller, it's absolute quality piece of hardware. So they really, they really turned it around with the GameCube. In fact, I'd probably say that the GameCube controller is my favourite controller. The Wavebird, which is a wireless one, is just awesome. It's an absolute awesome controller. But I'm not a fan of the N64 controller at all. So yeah, the controller that has come out, I'll stop this before it fades away, is, it's basically, it looks more like a kind of regular controller, and it seems to play pretty well. But the second of the three reasons that I'm not an N64, I'm going to stop playing on my beard, that's quite rude, excuse me a second. Yeah, the second of my three reasons why I'm not a big N64 fan is the actual games. I don't have any real nostalgia for them. I did have an N64 back in the day. I loved Super Mario 64 or whatever it's called. I had Mario Kart, which I wasn't overly impressed with, and that was about it. I did have a couple other games. I had Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I don't know, I had the EverDrive and I played games and there was this, there was no love for it at all. I don't know what it was, I just had no love for it at all. And the third reason is, and I've said this before, the games just look rubbish on modern TVs. An N64 on a modern TV just doesn't look that good. I understand if you play it through emulation, you can kind of upscale it, and I do occasionally play the odd game on some of my handhelds, and it does look better because it's kind of, it's kind of higher resolution. But yeah, I just don't think, they just don't look that good. Now, would I buy a new N64? If somebody gave me one either for free or for not a lot of money, then I'd probably take it because I would be daft not to do that. But I think if they did bring out an N64 Mini, then I would possibly be interested in buying one, because you're going to get a really, really nice picture, which is a big thing. So that might change my... Oh, this iPad has just gone off, excuse me. That would maybe make me change my mind if there is an N64 Mini. I'm sure there's been talk of it coming out for quite a while, and I think the way it's going with all these other mini systems, I think it's only a matter of time. Right now, Ian, would I buy another N64 based purely on that controller? No, I wouldn't, unless I got it mega cheap. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Ian. And thanks as always for your always wonderful support. Oh, another one from the oldie gamer Steve. Oops, forgot to ask a question, or a waffle question. Which deceased software developer do you wish still published games today? When you say deceased, I hope you don't mean the actual person, you mean the actual company that's died. Oh, I suppose the obvious one would be the software company that made the most games that you really liked. I'm trying to think what it would be. The 8-bit machines. Ah, man. I mean, Task Set, they made Robotron, they made Super Pipeline 2, but the other games weren't particularly good. You know what? I've got the exact answer. Probably it would be, it would be Sensible Software. Sensible Software, they absolutely dominated the 16-bit, the Amiga. I mean, Whizball is one of the finest Commodore 64 games, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Parallax. Sensible Soccer took hours and hours and hours of my life. It's probably, in fact, it will be the most played game that I've ever played. I don't know how many hours I must have put into Sensible Soccer. There's various incarnations of it. Sensible Golf, which I wasn't a big fan of. Megalomania, which I thought was really good. Cannon Fodder, again, awesome game. So yeah, they've made some awesome games, and if they were to start making new games with the same team and using maybe the same graphics, same playability, then I would that would be brilliant. But, and it's a big but, I'm not overly happy with John Hare of Sensible Software, or ex-Sensible Software I should say. As I've mentioned this before, John Hare started up a new company. They brought out what they were sort of terming the successor to Sensible Soccer, called Sociable Soccer. So I backed it. I didn't back it, I bought it on Steam. They brought out a beta on Steam, but it was like the full price with the promise that you would get the full version. However, I paid, I don't know what it was, 20 quid for the beta. Then about 6 months ago, they decided that they were no longer going to work in the PC version, and instead they'd apparently been offered a big chunk of money to produce Sociable Soccer for the tablet and phone market in China. So they've basically they've stopped working on the PC version of Sociable Soccer. They've now been working on the mobile one. Now apparently they said they want to do this to make more money. Then once they get more money, they're going to go back and finish the PC one. Do I believe them? No, I don't. If I stand corrected, then fantastic. But the point is, I have paid the money to them for a beta copy of a game, and it disappoints me when somebody as prolific as John Hare is involved in that. I think it's really shoddy customer treatment. You know what I mean? So yeah, but if it was one software house, Steve, it would be Sensible Software. The original team. Next up, Andrew Clegg. Without the Atari 8-bit, there's no Amiga. Yeah, one of the guys asked me if I had to pick a computer out of Spectrum, Commodore 64 or Amstrad, Spectrum, Commodore 64 or Atari, I had to pick one that didn't exist. I very reluctantly went for the Atari, But then, as Andrew said, there wouldn't be any Commodore Amiga. But it's a hard choice. It's like being asked to, what, you've got three kids. You have to pick one that's going to get shot. What one do you go for? It's a difficult question. Good luck starting a new job, mate. Arcade Club in Leeds is spot on for me. It's 15 miles away. Wow. How lucky are you? Arcade Club 15 miles. I've never been away from the place. Awesome. Listen, Andrew, if I do get down there, buddy, hopefully next year, I'll give you a shout. And Andy, oh man, you must bring back That Was the Year That Was. I'd actually forgotten all about that, and it was awesome. Yeah, I saw that comment, Andy, and it made me smile in a good way, mate, because I still, even 4 years on, 5 years on, however long I've been doing this, in fact, it's 6 years, I think. Well, yeah, 6 years I've been doing YouTube, which is just mental. It still does surprise me when people refer to some of my videos as awesome, because I look at them for what they are. They're very, very quickly, I wouldn't say they're flung together, but, look at my videos. I mean, they're the production values, I don't take that long to make some of these videos. And the fact that some people find them awesome, it's like, really? But that in itself is awesome. And comments like that is why I continue to do YouTube, I really do. So, anyway, Andy, thanks very much for the nice comment. Next up, Amiga Old School. Adam, good luck with the new job. Definitely know what you mean, being in a comfort zone. 22 years I've been in my company. Wow, that's a long time, Adam, but I was 18 years. Like I says, buddy, there's nothing wrong with being in a comfort zone. If you've got a job that you can do, you're happy in, you're making enough money, then there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'd been unhappy for a long, long time. So I knew it was the right thing to do, to change jobs. But like I says, mate, if you're in a job that you enjoy, brilliant. That's excellent. That's what we're all looking for. Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, that beer, hang on, I'll just have a little drink to get rid of the burps. Right, next we've got Batman. A belated happy birthday to you, sir. I too am starting a new job after several years of my previous job. A leap into the unknown is always a big thing, but hopefully it will work out fine for both of us. I'm sure it will, Bat, and best of luck to your new job, mate. For a future waffle, you have just bought the Mega Drive Mini, so that got me thinking, what are your favourite and least favourite mini systems? They have their fans, they serve a purpose, but can upset purists. Main Meister, it's over to you. Well, my thoughts on mini systems. Whilst I'm happy, I would prefer to have original hardware just because it feels that much better. I'm all over the mini systems. I think they're fantastic, and the reason being is because you're basically getting a machine that will do the same job as an original machine, but you can plug it into your HDMI TV without pissing about, trying to get a picture or whatever, and it's going to last. These machines, in fact, when I was at the computer club a couple of weeks ago, I took along my C64, and one of the guys was, when I told him, he says, have you got an original, is it the original power pack you're using? I went, yeah, I am. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't do that, it's going to, apparently the old power packs, they can cause like too much voltage or something to go into the circuit board, and basically it'll fry the machine. So, you're up against things like that. You could buy an old machine and then switch it on, and then boof, that's it, gone. These mini machines give a new audience and people like myself, the opportunity to enjoy all these games on modern TVs. So why would I don't get the whole purist thing. Like I said, yeah, I do prefer to use my real machines just because I've got them. But you know what, these older machines are becoming harder and harder to find. They're becoming unreliable, so why wouldn't these mini machines be good? So getting back to your actual main part of the question, what are my favourite and least favourite mini systems? Now, I've got three of the mini systems. I've got the C64 Mini, I've got the SNES, and the Mega Drive, which I obviously got for my birthday last week. I think all three are really good. I'm a massive fan of the SNES one. I love the fact that you've got the CRT filters. I love the fact you've got the little save options. It's just a really, really nice bit of kit. The Mega Drive one is really nice as well. It controls well. You know, the only one little thing that I don't like about it, or it'd be nice to have, is again, you don't seem to have the SCART line options to give the sort of CRT look to it. I couldn't see that. I have actually recorded a video, an unboxing, which I'm probably going to put out, I don't know, next week, whatever. But that was the only thing that I'm kind of missing in the Mega Drive one. But both the SNES and the Mini are awesome. C64 one, again, it plays the games really, really well. They look lovely on the modern TVs. The big thing about the C64 one, which I don't like, which you know what's coming, is the joystick. The joystick is crap. Lone Boy's Post did quite an in-depth kind of review of it, and he was going on about just how poor the joystick is. It is. There's no question that the joystick is crap. There is absolutely no movement in the joystick, so you don't get any positive feedback because there's no play at all. It feels flimsy. It feels really, really cheap, which is disappointing because I think they've done a good job with the 64, you know, the emulation side of it, and they've put on this really horrible joystick. I don't know what they were thinking. The other thing that I don't like about the C64 Mini is the fact that it doesn't actually have a proper keyboard, obviously. That will be fixed when they bring out the full size. You can't call it a C64 Mini if it's full size, can you? I don't know what it's going to be called, but yeah, that will be fixed once you get a proper keyboard. And it's the same with like the C64 Mini has got the virtual joystick, virtual keyboard. You press a button and then you can move using the joystick to press a key, but it works, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all, and that's why I don't really think many computer systems work that well. Yeah, the emulation might be fine. It's the same with the Spectrum Vega. I don't own one of these. I've got no interest in owning one of them, again, unless I got it for like daft cheap. It doesn't have a keyboard, and I think it's got the virtual keyboard again, and that a computer emulator or computer system needs a keyboard, because the keyboard was a really integral part of these systems. They were computers, so to try and play it, you know, using a gamepad or whatever, it just misses something out. If I was to pick my favourite one, well, I can only pick my favourite one based on the three I've got. From what I've seen, I'm going to go for the SNES. The Mega Drive is a close second. I mean, the Mega Drive is awesome. I'm just marking it down slightly because I couldn't find the SCART lines, whatever it is, option. So yeah, it loses 1 point for that, but both the Mega Drive and the SNES are awesome. I might eventually get myself an NES one if I see it cheap enough. I mean, I saw they were selling them down in Blackpool, but they were still wanting daft money. So yeah, anyway, listen back. Thanks for your question, buddy. I wish this iPad wouldn't keep going to sleep. Let's have a look. And Mr. Ox, I think it's time we had another retro comedy video. Yeah, I think I was talking about Derek Van Dass. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was actually referring to a comment by Doug Scullery. But yeah, you can go and watch last week's Friday Waffle if you want to see what that was about. Stephen Thomber, great waffling. 2 questions for you. One normal and one silly. Pick which one you wish to answer. Well, I'm going to answer 2 if that's alright, Stephen. Normal question. Of the 8-bit era, what game packaging was your favourite? Was it a simple cassette box of the Spectrum C64, or the huge boxes like the Atari games, big black boxes like the BBC games? think. You're talking about, yeah, the 8-bit era. Yeah, I mean, you occasionally got big box games like Elite. That was an awesome game. It had so much, you had everything in it. I didn't have a BBC, but yeah, they had the sort of the bigger boxes. I don't know, I think my favourite packaging would be, I don't have any to hand, would be the boxes, sort of clamshell boxes that some of like Spy Hunter, ER Kung Fu came in. It wasn't the wee plastic, it was the bigger ones, the sort of black cases. I think all Imagine games came in the bigger cases. They were really nice. They just looked like quality. They actually looked like kind of mini Mega Drive cases. Yeah, black cases with a cover in front. They were really, really nice. I'd probably say that would be my favourite packaging for the 8-bit ones. And the silly question, if you crossed Bugaboo the Flea with Super Pipeline 2, what type of game would you end up with, and what would it be called? Right, Super Pipeline 2, Bugaboo the Flea, blimey. So you're a flea, you've got to keep the pipes open, but you're also trying to escape the mine. Yeah, you're basically down a mine shaft, you've got to keep the pipe flowing, but you've got to get to the top. Super Bug, Super Flea Line, Super Pipe Flea, Super... oh, blimey. Bugaboo the Plumber, possibly? Or would it be kind of tiptoeing in Super Mario, Mario trademarks? I don't know. Yeah, Bugaboo the Plumber, possibly. Plumber Flea, can't even say it. Plumber Flea and Cavern Capers. What about that? Yeah, go for that one. Down the rabbit hole. Hi Alan. Someone asked me about a game called Flash Columns, which I think was a variation of the Sega game like Tetris, but played in her browser. But now it sounds like that version is gone. So she was asking me if I knew a game just like that with the win payoffs. It used to have, what was it? Sorry. It used to have that might also be player on a handheld with online leaderboards. Sorry, Kev, you've absolutely lost me. A bit of a tall order, but do you know what she's talking about? I don't. Flash Columns. There was a game... oh, wait a minute. There was a game on that was called Columns, which was basically Sega's take on Tetris. So I'm assuming it's maybe that. Columns, possibly, Kev. I've never really played it. It's on the Game Gear and it was also on the Mega Drive, but I think that might be related to that game. It's called Columns, and it says it was kind of Tetris, but for the Mega Drive, well, by Sega. So I'm assuming that might well be it. Secondly, on the topic of disappointing some game fans, I see The Last of Us is delayed, and it makes me wonder what was the most disappointing delay ever for you for any game. I don't really, because I'm not a massive modern gamer. There's very, very few games that I've been saying, oh, I can't wait for this game, can't wait for it. And then when it gets delayed, I'm disappointed. Because I generally pick up games when they've been out for like 6 months, so it's not something that really affects me with a game getting delayed, because there's not really any games that's happened. However, the game you've just mentioned, The Last of Us, is one of my favourite video games of all time. I think it's easily my favourite PlayStation 4 game. It's just an awesome game, and I'm super stoked, for the new one coming out. And you're saying it's been delayed. That I'm disappointed to hear that, because that's a game that I would absolutely buy as soon as it comes out. There's probably not many games that would apply to, but yeah, I love Last of Us so much. It's just an awesome game. If you've got a PlayStation 4 and you've got PlayStation Plus, Last of Us is one of the games you can download for free. So if you've never played it, do yourself a favour and play it. It's just an awesome game. But I'm trying to think, Kevin, if there's been any games I've never really. I mean, sequel wise, I remember being really excited for the sequel to Year Kung Fu, and I was really disappointed. I was really excited about the sequel to Way of the Exploding Fist, and I was really disappointed. So these weren't sequels that I was disappointed because they were delayed. I was just basically disappointed with the sequels. Can't think of anything else. I mean, I touched on it earlier on. Sensible Soccer, loved it. Then along came World of Sensible Soccer. It was more kind of management as well. You actually got to play it. It never really hit the high for me with playability. I always think the original Sensible Soccer was the best game ever. The sequel just wasn't quite as good. They kind of tinkered with the difficulty a wee bit too much for my liking. But Last of Us, go and play it. And finally, I played Space Invaders recently for a video, and although I love that classic, I confess that it is basic and slow. Do you actually ever play Space Invaders much if you don't have a reason to? Actually, Kevin, I would have agreed with you until about a year ago. I was showing my girlfriend my MAME cab, and the only game that she said she used to really enjoy playing, like in arcades, was Space Invaders. So when she comes over, we'll put the MAME cab on and we'll have a game. And you know what? I've grown to like it. It's a bit like Berserk. I mean, you know my history with Berserk. I played it because I thought this is an absolute crap game, and I loved it. And it's the same with Space Invaders. If you actually kind of forget about it's a repetitive game, and if you play it purely from a high score perspective, and that is all you can do with Space Invaders, you will never beat the game. Every level is the same. But in the last 8 months, I've started to play Space Invaders a lot more. I'm not particularly good at it. I think my high score is about 4,000 or something, which isn't a particularly good score. But yeah, I have started playing Space Invaders, Kevin, and I really do enjoy it. It is a classic. Yeah, I wouldn't want that to be the only game I could ever play. But I've fallen in love with Space Invaders all over again. It's a game that really kicked off my whole love of this hobby. So thanks then, Kev. Mr. Colin Jones, Waffle question 1. As Halloween will have just passed, what are your top 5 spooky themed games? So we're talking horror games. One of my top 5 horror games, which is crap, is Evil Dead, which we'll not even talk about. Horror games. My favourite, I mean, I have enjoyed most of the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 4 is my favourite Resident Evil 4 game. Favourite Resident Evil game. It's just awesome. I've completed it so many times. I'm really enjoying Resident Evil 2, the remake. I'm probably maybe 3/4 of the way through it on the PlayStation 4. I'm really enjoying that. Any other horror games? I mean, I could just make up and say Splatterhouse, you know, it's a horror game. But it's not a game I've played all that much. I can't actually think of any other games off the top of my head, Colin. Spooky games. Nah, I can't think of anything else, Colin. No, it's got to be Resident Evil games. I'm not actually a big fan of horror games per se, because I'm just too chicken. I'm a big scaredy cat. I did dabble with Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill. I think the restricted hardware, i.e. it couldn't draw any great distances, they used the fog effect, you know, to great effect, so which it just lent itself really well for that game. But it was a nice game, Silent Hill, but again, I never really got to play it that much. I'll tell you, I've just thought of one game that I really did enjoy, which is a scary game. Is it Eternal Darkness on the GameCube? Never completed it again, surprise, but again, it starts off fairly kind of pedestrian, and then it gets going, and it actually turns into a really scary game. Now, somebody mentioned to me last week, I think it was, would I class Bioshock as a horror game, and I said not really, but I'll tell you, you'll get some of the biggest jump scares playing Bioshock than you'll get out of any game. So yeah, the two Bioshock games, Eternal Darkness, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and Resident Evil 4, Colin. That would be my five. I think that was it. Second waffle question: fireworks. Which do you prefer, home, professional, display, or none? If I'm being honest, I don't like fireworks. Now, part of that is because when I was about, I don't know, 10 years old, maybe a bit older, my mate, he was my best mate, still is my best mate, I've not seen him for a long, long time, I don't know if he lives in America. He fired one of these, remember these little cap guns with the really loud red caps? He fired one, he held it up to my ear and fired it. And that actually has made, I wouldn't say I'm partly deaf. I don't think there's anything wrong with my hearing, but my hearing in that ear has definitely been dulled a bit, and because of that, I don't like bangs. I hate even somebody banging a balloon. I just don't like it at all. So I'm not a fan of fireworks up close. I just don't like bangs. The second reason is I've got two dogs, and they are, well, one of them in particular, Archie, he's absolutely petrified of fireworks. He's a nervous wreck, and unfortunately in the UK they seem to sell fireworks from like the middle of October right through to Christmas time. Well, they don't sell them for that length of time, but they go up for sale the middle of October until November. But people, they just seem to go off at all hours of the day for about 2 months, and for that reason I hate them. However, I'm not all Victor Meldrew. I do actually enjoy professional firework displays. I mean, there's one in Edinburgh every year. It's at the end of the festival, and it is awesome. I mean, I don't know how much it costs. It does look amazing, and I'm a fan of these. I think they're wonderful. Personally, I actually wish they would ban the sale of fireworks to the public. I don't think there's any place for them today. Why would you sell explosives? The problem is kids buy them. You say you've got to be over 18. Well, 18-year-old kids will buy them and give them to younger kids, whatever. I mean, there was a thing in the paper just the other day there, a wee boy's been almost blinded because he picked up a firework and it blew up in his face, So why would we sell fireworks? I don't get it. I do enjoy firework displays if they're organised, proper organised displays. As far as selling to the public, I would ban them in a second. Absolutely, Colin. Past features, hardware look-ats. I'm sure you could find some bits in those boxes. Yeah, I do a hardware look-at feature where I look at hardware, funnily enough. I have got a lot of machines which I've never ever featured in that, so I will endeavour to do more videos, absolutely. Octavius is bringing her videos back up gradually. She has a rather unique and extremely funny style, so I'm glad things are settling down. Yeah, I did notice that our videos seem to be coming back again. I've got my own thoughts on the whole thing. I think the guy that supposedly took out the stripes on our channel, I think he's had a really hard time from it. I've got my own thoughts on it, which I'm not going to go into on this channel. But yeah, I'm glad to see she's back anyway. Because her videos are good. I'll definitely say that. Mario Kart Tour now on Android is quite fun. No cash needed to progress. Yeah, I noticed that. Kind of bizarre. Why would Nintendo bring out one of their games on smartphones? It's not like you can get a Nintendo phone. So why would they bring out one of their biggest licenses on phones? I don't really get that. If anybody knows why they're doing it, I mean, I'm assuming there's in-app purchases. So we're going to see more Nintendo games coming out, because Nintendo are all about the hardware in the games, so their hardware. So it surprises me that they're going to bring out software for phones. maybe that's the way we're going to go, who knows. Nintendo bitten the arse by their own copyright snake and seem to have learned them from it. Let's hope word gets out and other companies and IP holders learn from this. Yeah, and totally off topic, but not forgetting Team Trees. I've been getting like pop-ups about Team Trees. Is this about saving trees or something? I've not paid a lot of attention to it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for your question, Colin. Next up, Panther UK. Good luck on the job front, fellas. Smashing waffle as always. Thank you very much, Chris. Question then. I've just had an article published in the new 2020 Zap 64 annual, which for me is epic. Are there or were there any gaming related publications an articulate chap like yourself would have liked to have written for, and you could also tell newer viewers about the writing you did? I'm sorry I don't remember the name, but I remember you showing us a web page a while back. Yeah, you know what, I'll be honest, Chris, I didn't buy the last Nintendo, I didn't buy the last Zap magazine annual, and I've not really had any interest in buying a new one, but I should maybe look at it. I mean, I think for me is I am kind of firmly based in the old days, and I think any new stuff I tend not to have much of an interest in, but I know that's maybe a wee bit naive and I'm probably missing a lot of good stuff, so I absolutely will check it out. No, I used to write for, it was a web-based magazine called Way of the Rodent. We used to write articles, and it was, what made it really, really nice, it was a vehicle for allowing people like myself who had no professional qualifications in writing at all to put stuff out there for people to read. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I mean, we ran the magazine from, 2001 to about 2010, something like that possibly. But then real life took over. Some of the guys have kind of disappeared. Apologies about, you'll probably noticed a little jump. The problem with recording on like a tablet is it only takes, I think it can only record up to 4 gig, and then it's got to start a new file size, so you always get that little jump in the middle, which is quite annoying. Excuse me. I notice when I use my GoPro, it does the same, but it doesn't, you wouldn't even notice there was a join, but when you're recording using the tablet or a phone, you always get the wee kind of gap, which is quite annoying. Yeah, going back to Way of the Rodent, it was an awesome thing. It was really, really good. Now, there's not really been any magazine put out in the last maybe 6 years, something like that. There was talk, we did try crowdfunding to get money to put out an actual hard copy of Way of the Rodent. It was going to contain all sort of the best of the features that we put in, and I was looking forward to taking part in that. Ultimately, we didn't actually get enough money. It fell quite a bit short, so it never happened. I'm not actually on the website anymore. I don't go into Way of the Rodent. I'll occasionally go in and just look, but I don't comment on it at all now. I don't know why. I think with social media, I mean, all my friends that I've made on Way of the Rodent, they're on my Facebook, so we keep in touch through Facebook, through Twitter. Some of the guys watch my channel, so there are other ways. I mean, back in the day, forums were about the only way of communicating online, but then things like Facebook came along, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, so I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. But yeah, Way of the Rodent, it was really, really, really good. So thanks then, Chris, and I think lastly I think that's the last question. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, it is actually. Last question is Milthy Swinbuckle. Hello again, Main Meister. Here's a question for the Waffle. Are there any arcade games that you love and play regularly that don't get recognised as being great, or you feel should be considered a classic? I've discovered quite a few games since getting MAME that I didn't have a clue existed. I would like to think that I am responsible for quite a few people enjoying Berserk. I started playing it just out of boredom one day. I thought, this looks absolutely shit. And I started playing it and I thought, I'm quite enjoying this. And I started playing it a bit more and it became one of my favourite games. Yeah, so Berserk, that's a game that I I played because I thought it was rubbish, and then I just fell in love with it. And since I've been playing it a lot of my mates have kind of started playing it. So yeah, but I think Berserk is fairly well known. Other games, I mean, Juno First is an absolute stonewall classic shoot 'em up. It's a game that a lot of people have probably never actually heard of. If you're into vertical shoot 'em ups, then you absolutely need to go and play that. Anything else? Nah, I think most of the games that I enjoy are fairly well known, I have to say. I can't think of anything else. So, listen, guys, that's my girlfriend just arrived, so I'm going to go and wrap up this waffle. Thanks as always to your continued support. I know I say that every week, but I really, really, really do mean it. I hope you all have an awesome weekend, and as always, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.